Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to teach you how to paint this really fun wintry watercolor scene. I started out by taping down my paper and then making my pencil sketch. This is just a wavy line for the horizon about halfway up the paper and then a couple of little U shapes for where the trees are going to go. Now I'm getting out my watercolors. These are from Grabie. They are actually the sponsors of this video. We'll talk about them a little bit more later, but I appreciate them supporting my channel. For my brushes, I'm using a couple of detail brushes and then a couple of larger brushes. One of them is a water brush, so it stores water in the barrel. Now we're going to get our colors ready. For the sunrise, we're going to do a blue, pink, and yellow. Those will all mix together on the paper. So we're starting out by putting a layer of water down on the top half of the paper, everything above that horizon line that we drew. And then I'm going to drop in some blue at the top of the paper here and start blending it out with a clean, dry brush. And it'll blend out a little bit on the water that's on the paper already, but you just can use your brush to blend it out a little bit better. Next, I took some of that pink color and put that down here towards the horizon line on both sides, and I blended that out with a damp brush so that it blends into that blue. And last, I took the yellow and added that at the very bottom at the horizon line, and again blended that into the pink and into the blue. And as long as your paper stays wet, you can continue to blend these colors together to get as soft of a sunset as you like. Now, before this dries, the other thing that we're going to do is use a dark green and just place a little drop of this color at the horizon line. And this will spread up into the sky area, and it'll make these sort of fuzzy looking trees that will look like they're in the distance. Once you're all done with that, let the sky dry completely, and now we're going to work on the snow section. So take a dark bluish gray and make some of these shallow U shapes, and then blend out the top of that with a clean damp brush. And this should give you a little shadow area. You can also just add some little lines and dots for some texture in the snow, but make a few of those bigger U shapes that'll be where our trees go. Now I'm switching to a smaller detail brush and the same green that we used for those distant trees, and I'm just going to add a few sharper trees that are evergreens back here in the background. So I'm starting with the vertical trunk, and then I'm just going back and forth in a zigzag pattern, adding branches on both sides, working my way down. And I'm making these branches just slightly longer as I work my way down the tree, so it gets that sort of cone shape. Now, when you're making trees like this, it can sometimes be tempting to go really slow and try to make each branch perfect, but it really does look better if you do this quickly, and if you make it a little bit messy, that will look more natural and more like a tree. So we're just going to go across the horizon line and add a few of these, add as many as you want in your painting, but I'm just going to make some of these small trees. We want to make sure they're small so that the ones in front look bigger, and that will give us the perspective of this painting. Once you're done with your trees in the background, we can switch to the trees in the foreground. These will go in those little hollows that we made with that blue-gray in the snow, and these will be with a darker green, and they should be much bigger than the trees that we painted before. And you'll just add as many of these as you like across the painting. I think I did 5 or 6, but you can add as few or as many as you want. Now, as we paint these trees, I'm going to talk about Grabie for a second. They are an art supply website, and they sponsored this video. This is their set of 50 watercolors that I'm using here, along with some of their brushes. And this paint set is actually really great for beginners or even more advanced artists. It's very budget friendly, but it is still high quality, and I really enjoy painting with it. You can find Grabie's website in the description of this video. I also have a discount code for you. This will get you 15% off of anything on their store, even if you don't want these watercolors and you want something else, that code will work. And on Black Friday, that code will actually get you 20% off and a free tote bag. So make sure if you are wanting to shop for some art supplies on November 25th, you use that code and you'll get an extra 5% off. And thank you again to Grabie for sponsoring this video. And we're going to move back to our painting here. The last step after I've painted all my trees in is to add a little bit more depth and shadow to those trees. So I'm using a darker bluish green, and I'm just adding a few more branches in the interior of the tree. So I'm concentrating these towards the center of the tree and just layering on a few more branches. You can feel free to skip this step if you feel like your trees are already dark enough, but this is just another option for you if you want to add a little bit more dimension. And after that, all that's left to do is take off the tape, so go ahead and do that. If your tape is peeling your paper, use a hairdryer to heat up the tape first. That will help you out a lot. Make sure you sign and date your paper so you can look back and know when you did it, and I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And here's my final painting. I really like how this one came out. Make sure you check out Grabie. All of the information that you need will be in the description of this video. And please leave a comment letting me know what you thought of this tutorial and what else you'd like to see from me.